Hey y'all, welcome to our South Georgia garden on this beautiful sunny day, even in the midst of winter.
Yes, Belinda, sunny, a little breezy, but since it's gotten into the 60s today, it makes it pleasant to be in the garden.
It does. So we're going to just piddle in the garden a little bit today, do a few odds and ends chores in the garden, and it's just delightful to be able to spend some time out in the garden. So we hope y'all will come along with us.
Yes, we call it piddling in the garden because we have nothing specific that we're doing, just a lot of little odds and ends that you need to do in any garden.
Yeah, and to be prepared, of course, got my pruners, got my gloves. Oh yeah, I've got my overalls on that have the pads, the pads that are knee pads that are inserts for the overalls. So this way, no matter where I am in the garden, no matter what I want to piddle and do, if I need to drop down, I've got my knee pads right there with me. So it makes it a lot easier and a lot more convenient.
Certainly does. So y'all come along with us as we spend some time piddling in the garden. Well, Belinda, we're going to plant these snowflakes in this bed that's been prepared. And the soil's nice and already fluffy and soft because we've had this here for 3 growing seasons now.
Yes, and we think we're going to use just our Hori, which is a tool that we enjoy for multiple uses. You could just use a spade or any type of little digging tool. As you said, this has been mended so many times, we really don't need to drill this, and the bulbs are so small.
So it's just kind of make a little small hole for these bulbs.
Yeah, and the neat thing about the Hori is it does have a depth indicator on it. So this it shows me about where 4 inches is, so I'm going to dig my soil back to about 4 inches deep. Drop my bulb in to the hole, flat side down, pointy side up, and then cover back up with my soil that I already have here.
And the reason we're planting these now is because we just saw these on sale, and these are very early blooming, aren't they?
They are, and we found, as you said, we found these on sale, and we know this is a good time that here in South Georgia, our soil is still has some warmth to it, not frozen, and it's easy to dig in. And then also, we're sort of scattering these around so they'll look natural in this area.
And we already have some bulbs in this area, some daffodils. In
Yes.
fact, I just uncovered one.
So make sure and put him back in. And we already have some of our drip irrigation in here, so that'll help through the spring when we're not having as much rain, that they'll get some nice moisture. Also, we're planting these in amongst other perennials that we have growing in this bed. And one of the reasons we want to do that is we want to be able to leave the green growth of the snowflakes up until just let it die back naturally.
And why is that important?
Well, of course, that bulb needs all that photosynthesis to happen in that green growth up top, so that bulb gets all the nutrition it needs to bloom again next spring for us.
Which is why probably some people have a problem seeing things bloom and grow the next year, is if they cut off that green foliage, then the plant's not getting its nutrition for next year's growth.
Right, so we found a way to enjoy them in our garden is to plant them in amongst other things that will sort of camouflage them, the bulb greenery, after the flowers have gone away, and give the plant long enough to stay green and get all that nutrition into the green foliage.
And there's a difference between the snowdrops and the snowflakes, and we have found that the snowflakes plant does better for us in this climate.
Yes, they seem to kind of clump better and form nicer plants. And we bought, was it about 50 of these?
Yes, about 50 of these, and we know that they will naturalize and spread. So over time, we'll have much more than 50.
And we're going to sort of concentrate this 50 in amongst things in this front garden bed this year to kind of fill this bed out with our snowflakes. And then, since we have quite a few beds on our property, we'll pick another bed to do some in next year. And this bed is what we call our bird girl garden, but here we're located up near the front of it at our little boy girl statuary. Well, Mark, I see you have some of your tools and things gathered up, so you're going to do a little tinkering in the garden now, right?
Yes, and we'll do a little tinkering, a little work on this Carolina Sapphire, Arizona Cypress. It's leaning.
Yes, I can see that main trunk from the bottom to the top. Oh yeah, when you pulled it back like that, that looks a lot straighter, a lot nicer. And
we recently planted this.
yes, we did, right, maybe late fall we planted this, and those kind of strong winds coming off the lake seems as if they've sort of toppled it kind of towards our road area.
Yes, they have. So the best thing to do is to put a temporary stake to just give it a little bit of support until those roots grow in enough that it holds this upright.
Okay, so what tools do you have today?
I've got a hammer and a piece of rebar to use as a stake, and some nylon strapping that a nursery owner who planted some plants for us recommended, and this is exactly what he did to strap trees.
All right.
Give them some support.
So you'll show us your process?
Okay. So first thing to do is to get this rebar in the ground.
I see you're kind of going at an angle there, maybe about a 45-degree angle.
Yes, at an angle which will, as it pulls on it, will keep it from pulling that stake out of the ground.
All right, you, on this small of a tree, you're going maybe about halfway up.
Yes, about halfway up.
Somewhere between a third and halfway up.
Yes.
Okay. All right, yeah, that looks pretty good right there.
Look pretty good?
It does. I can see that main trunk in there. It's like she's standing tall.
Tall and proud, which is what we want her to do.
And this is the same type of Carolina Sapphire. We actually had this one in a pot before, up in our main yard. And then as it began to grow, we had this kind of open area on our berm. So we decided to move it down here in between two other Carolina Sapphires that we put in about 3 years ago. And we enjoyed them so much, and they've grown so well. We knew this would be a good place for them. It has a great fragrance, kind of that Christmas tree smell. Actually, a Christmas tree farm near us grows this type of tree and sells as Christmas trees. All right, so I'm gonna kind of show your little stake here, and you, at the angle, goes up into your tree around your trunk. But it's still got a little play, not tight, so that the tree can move a little bit, because that helps it to establish its roots better.
Yes, as you can see, this tree can move in the wind and rock a little bit, which will help it. We won't leave this on an extremely long time. It'll be on through this growing season. We'll check it to make sure it's still holding and not damaging that trunk at all. And if we feel that it still needs some staking, we may reposition it so that it's in a little different position on that trunk.
Right, and this one that you've just straightened is maybe about shoulder high on you, maybe about...
Yeah, it's about shoulder high. I'll step in here.
Okay, and then I see that giant, beautiful one behind you there. And when we planted it, It was about the same size as this one, wasn't it?
Yes,
3 years
it was.
ago?
Yes,
So.
it was about that same size. And there's another one behind you just like that. So this will be 3 here together, and they should really help with this privacy area along our property line.
Right, they'll give us a nice buffer here.
Yes, it will.
And evergreen makes them wonderful. All right, I think we can go find some other things to piddle in the garden.
Okay. So Belinda, what are you doing there?
Well, I think we find anytime we're just sort of piddling in the garden and we walk by, we see a few weeds. So it's just a good time to get a few of them now. And I can see they're kind of concentrated here around this sunshine ligustrum that we recently planted. And that's one thing that we kind of find in our new beds. Sometimes the weeds, they want to go in there and get that good stuff, the good soil that you have amended and fluffed up when you planted a new plant. So I want to just go in here, pulling my straw back with my little hand rake, and I have my hoary that if it's a weed that has kind of a tap root, I can get underneath it to pull that weed out, because I want my new plant that I planted to get all these nutrients and moisture and not the weeds that are out here.
So Belinda, those weeds are really liking the freshly disturbed soil, the extra water, extra nutrients and fertilizer that we put down for those sunshine ligustrums.
They sure are, and that's one reason that we do mulch, and we did mulch this area, but the weeds, there's still going to be some weeds in there, so we'll just get after them a little bit at a time. And this is a nice sunny day here in winter, even though it's winter. So it's just nice to be outside, and we find getting outside in the sunshine is good for our well-being. It just kind of gives you a little bit of energy and perks you up and makes you hopeful, thinking about how beautiful all these new plants are going to be in the spring. So I'm going to just piddle a little bit more in the garden, and we kind of been stuck in the house for a couple days with some cold weather for South Georgia. And now that it's a nice sunny day, I'm going to take advantage of it a little bit. As I said, it just kind of perks me up and gives me joy. So if you can get out into your garden, go out to your garden a little while, even if it's just for a quick walk through, all bundled up. And if you're in an area of the country where you can't really do anything in your garden right now, hopefully watching this video with me out here pulling a few weeds will bring you some joy too. Well, Mark, it sure was nice to get to spend some time out in the garden today, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, Belinda. Such a pleasant day, a winter's day in which it's sunny, a little breezy, and it got into the 60s today.
Which is really nice, since we've seen some low temperatures in our forecast.
We've got some coming, so this day is just pleasant to be outside.
It is, and it's so wonderful, I guess you would say spiritually and mentally and definitely physically, just to be out in the fresh air and getting your hands in the dirt, playing in the dirt a little bit.
Yes, I know a lot of people say it's work, but playing in the dirt is what you've always said, and that's so true.
It is, and so hopefully those of you who aren't maybe say physically able to be out in your garden, or if the weather has prevented you from being out into your gardens, we hope that you enjoyed just seeing us piddle around in our garden today.
Yes, it's relaxing, isn't it?
Yes, and when we can't get out, we love to watch other people's videos of them piddling in their gardens, don't we?
Yes. So if you've been piddling in your garden, drop us a comment. Let us know what you've been doing on a winter's day when the temperature warms up enough and you get some sunlight and you just feel like getting out. Maybe you just went out and went for a stroll through your garden, walked around to see just how things look. Or maybe you got out and did some weeding or did something else. But just getting out into the fresh air and enjoying being a gardener.
Right, and even if you can sit on your porch a little while, the fresh air is marvelous.
Certainly is. Speaking of sitting on the porch, We love doing that,
We do.
especially after a day playing in the dirt.
I think next to playing in the dirt, sitting on the porch is our next hobby.
I think it is. And I think we've just about perfected it.
We're pretty good at it.
Yes. And of course, speaking of sitting on the porch, you just can't sit on the porch unless you have some sweet tea to sip on.
Yeah, that's a Georgia Southern comfort thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. So I think it might be time for some sweet tea, Belinda.
I'd like that.
Cheers from our South Georgia garden.
Happy gardening.
And happy piddling.